Greetings, everybody. Welcome to our kitchen again here at MPC. We're going to do a quick charcuterie. Charcuterie, if you're not aware of it, is usually only meat. But this day and age, when you get a charcuterie, certainly at a wine bar, and you order this charcuterie that has 5 things on it, it costs you $20. A lot of room as far as making a profit with charcuterie, but you're doing this at home. So, have fun with this. Charcuteries that we're going to do is going to be both a mix of a platter of cheese and a platter of meat. So, again, charcuterie really means meat only, but this day and age, we're going to do a charcuterie and cheese platter. So, generally speaking, it's always called in a restaurant a charcuterie. Just want to give you that difference. There is a difference. If you find yourself running a restaurant, you need to remember that difference. It makes a big difference as far as costs and making money in the product that you put out there. Okay, so first let's get some nuts roasted. I like to have like a sweetness into the nuts that I put on a charcuterie platter, so it's really quick and easy. Pan, I'm using a pan that's actually coated, so it'll be a lot easier for me to clean. It is sugar. And basically I start getting sugar wet. So as soon as you start cooking sugar, it liquefies. So it's fairly easy to cook with. So make sure you have everything ready, your mise en place ready. So here we go. The sugar's in. And so I'm just going to let that sugar go in there and start melting. I may add some butter to this just to give it a little bit more flavor, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So we got the sugar cooking at a high heat, and we'll let that go. Meanwhile, for my charcuterie platter, I have meats. Since you all already have your meat, I got just the leftovers. So I want to enhance this. So I think in your bags, you also got this kind of like spreadable type of thing happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this spread, and I'm going to just spread it right onto the meat itself, kind of like a meat and cheese kind of combination. And I'm going to roll it like a roulade. And the reason why I'm doing this is so it stays together. So when you take your bite, you have a little cheese in the middle on it. Pretty cool, huh? I just thought about that. so now you get an idea of what's going on. I'm waiting for this to get all hot and melted. So let's do a few more of those, because I really didn't get a chance to do that. And it's almost like doing a roulade. If you were making a roulade, you basically would roll like a piece of bread up with like your favorite cream cheese mix, without the crust. You'd roll it like this, and then you would slice it into little tiny roulades, and like little circles, and and then you have yourself like a nice little meal going. Oh, there's so much here. We also have cheese, so I'm going to show you the cheese I have while I build this platter, and you could do this yourself. What's interesting about a charcuterie platter, it's really up to you how you handle it and what you want to put out there. It's all about, creativity. You could create any kind of view that you want, and you're ready to go. So here, you can see how my sugar is starting to melt. See? I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's starting to melt and turn into a liquid. I'm going to add a little bit of butter because I'm just in the mood for butter. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to add a pinch of butter into mine. I don't know if it's going to help it or hurt it, but I just like the flavor in there, so I'm going to add the butter into that, and then I'm going to add the nuts into it, and then, I'm just going to coat this really good, and I'm roasting this up. I'm coating it up really nice and good, sugar and butter. So obviously you don't want to eat too much of this. This is like a heart attack. Certainly for someone like me, just keep it nice and mixed. And once you have it all nice and coated, I try to get a coating on the whole thing. Like you see here, this will start hardening. So you got to be aware of how you're going to spread this. I have a tray with some parchment paper. I like using parchment paper because I hate to clean, and so this makes it a lot easier, so I don't have to clean a pan that won't clean forever. Drop your roasted nuts and sugared nuts here like this. You can add salt to them if you want. I kind of like get them all separated so they don't stick together like this. Just move them around, get them all where they don't stick together, and voila. Now this is going to go on my charcuterie platter. I love it. So see how you could be creative around this again? I was left over. All I had were these pieces of meat left over. This is what you're probably going to end up doing. I guess this is what you're going to end up with. I like this idea. You could actually do mozzarella cheese on this too. So you could do almost anything you want. But meat's important. This particular meat, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to, just do it in an angle like this. Maybe we'll do an angle over here like this with the meat. And that way they just can have a piece of meat hanging on the edge like this. You see? Like that. And like that. So I'm kind of like creating this look, I think. Like that, and then maybe I'll put my other meats over here, like over here. Kind of create this. I get a little bit like that. Everything has to match. I don't know why. So some of the cheese you received already has been sliced. This is kind of large for charcuterie, so I'll cut them in half, and I'll drop those over here like this. Do a few of them over here. See how easy this is? This is great with wine. If you don't drink wine, get out your, what's that apple juice called? Sparkling cider. Do something. You can have sparkling cider and have the other people have wine. You don't have to be, some of you aren't 21 yet. That's okay, Just make it work. Be happy, make it work for you. Be happy with what you got and make it better. Here you go. Sliced cheese. I usually like to slice my own cheese, but hey, this is all for television. But if you don't want to do it this way, just go get yourself a chunk of cheese and create angles or squares or whatever you want to do. I'm doing like angles and squares. I'm going to move pretty quick here. Put some angles and squares there like this. And you could stack it up. Pretty cool, huh? I'm going to do one back here, kind of like give it some color. That looks good, right? What else can we do? Crackers. Put a little bit of crackers on here. I think I'll put the crackers on the edges right here in between my meats and my cheeses. See how I'm doing that? I don't know if you could see this yet or not, but we're doing the best we can with the equipment we have, right? That doesn't look bad, does it? I want a couple pieces of meat on this side. It just doesn't look like it's enough. Be creative, like I said. Take some more of this here. I know this is a long video, but this gives you an idea how you want to work it. I'm almost done here, actually. So I'm going to put some more meat like up in here. I'm going to give it a look right there. I'm going to do another roulade right here. Put it like that. All right. Now, don't be afraid to use some grapes and what have you, some fruit. Here I have, I don't know what I want to do. Mustard. A little bit of mustard on the side, right? That looks really good. I think I'll do the mustard. I have jam, but I think I'm going to do the mustard instead. Grapes. I'm going to chop some of this grapes off here. I'm going to use my other knife. I'm going to put some grapes over here like this. I'm going to surround my other product here with grapes like that, right? Just to give it a nice look. See how we're doing this? Here we have some brie, right? Maybe some people want some brie. I'll cut this in half and I'll put some brie. Maybe one here, maybe with the meat, right? One over there, one over here like this. See how I'm doing that? And then, I have some little pickles like that. Put over there. All this stuff, anything you find in your refrigerator really will work, right? Some olives over here, maybe some olives over there. And then, I don't know. What else can we put on there, Molly?
It looks great.
Looks good. Maybe some just cranberries around here and there, just so people can pick a cranberry or whatever these are, cherries or whatever. And then, finish it off with a little bit of color. Maybe you'll want to put a little bit of color in there like this. Or maybe you'll want to put some color on each edge, like one over here, on this edge over here, and maybe one over here on this edge over here. See how I'm doing that? So you received a lot more than what I'm using here, but this gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. So there you go. There's a charcuterie platter that you would use. Okay? So have fun. Bon appetit. We'll catch you on the next video.
All right. And one other thing.
Your hand's in the way.
One other thing to consider with this is that you get to be an artist, and depending on the plate you choose, it's going to depict what you're going to use.
Yes, plating is everything.
Be creative, have fun with it. You should have enough to do one or two
wait a minute.
or 3 platters.
Our nuts.
So If you wanted to do a couple different varieties, you can do that. And I've given you a lot of different pictures already, and then we'll add this video as well. All right.
Thank you. I'm putting more
Have fun.
nuts in there. Bye.